Thank you. Hello everybody, my name is Craig Bennett and I'm the founder and owner of TechViewSnap, and today I am going to get into a detailed video on how to switch your information from one Google account to another. Now with this, I'm going to try to include things like Google Voice and a few other things like that. But one thing I want to mention right now is you won't be able to move everything at this given time. As of February 1st, 2016, you cannot move Google applications, Android applications, paid applications from one thing to another. As a Android developer, as a application developer for Android, iOS, and a few other things, I can tell you, if you ask the developers themselves that you bought the app from and show some proof that you bought the app, then chances are we can help you out in some form and fashion. Not all of us is. Keep in mind, you might be buying an application today and a developer made it a long time ago and stopped developing for a long time, so they probably won't be able to help much. They might not even have the files to help you out. So, but as a developer, I can tell you that there's a little we can do, even if it's side loading an application. And if you have a application file on your device, not the application itself, but say for example any saved information goes to a particular application file, that could be easily transferred from one account to another, because basically the files are still there, but basically the application, you just have a restore function and you're good to go. Now, another few things I want to mention before we jump on in, because this is going to be very detailed. If you don't have a long period of time to sit down and do this to a T, because there's going to be portions in here where you're going to end up having to pause and just have to go through it all. You might want to just watch the rest of the video while you're doing it, but still you're going to have to go through it all, and it's going to take you hours and hours. Like I can easily see some of this stuff taking you half a day, if not more, to just get through it. Now, that's depending on how much of in the ecosystem you're in, and plus on top of that, how many accounts are associated with your current account. And throw a scenario out there. One scenario is you have a bad account name. I don't know, you were a kid, you made a stupid account name, and you just want to switch it over to a different account and go from there, or whatever. That's one scenario. Another scenario, which I'm pretty much going to guarantee I'm going to see a lot of, is where someone screwed up, or Google itself screwed up, Google owning YouTube. And what's happening is you probably got banned from something. Most likely it is the YouTube stuff. That's pretty much the only thing you can get banned for. But you get banned, you want to go back and do whatever. There's no guarantee that this will work. I can pretty much tell you that with 100%, because here's the thing. Here's what happens in the Google stuff, and I've seen it when I first started out with YouTube, and I've been doing YouTube for a while. You'll have roommates, family, and whatever using the same computers, obviously in the same building, and what would end up happening is one person will get banned on their account, and because another person is just in the same building, because you're going through the same internet, they get banned too. Or they're using your computer, they get banned. So banned by association. And a lot of people have fought this and won, but there's a lot more that fought it and lost, because they're like, well, you must be the other person. And it's just stupid as all out. Even people who work for Google that I personally talked to on a digital interface, obviously, but I talked to, said it's just stupid. They literally, even the employees who work in YouTube, not all of them, obviously, but a lot of them have said it's draconian. So even they agree with it, and it's just getting the upper management to change it. And not only that, getting the legal team to change it, because the problem is, and I'm going off track a little, but might as well add into there. What the problem is more than less of how do you deal with such a large base of people and treat everyone as an individual. You flat out can't, so you gotta whack everybody. Now, as far as how hard they're hitting people, they're saying they're trying to work on that, and I've seen a little bit of change, but it's not a lot. And with this recent change, or with this recent incident where a lot of big YouTubers are having problems, where they're getting their channels banned for literally no reason, and YouTube has to reinstate it and not even telling them anything. A lot of them who are forcing YouTube to tell them something, and they said they know something's up and they're trying to fix it. Now, will they? But truth is hopefully this will help you out. If it doesn't, it doesn't. I'm not encouraging you to use this method to get around the system, though. It's very important that, and I'm pretty much going to tell you it might not work. It's nothing I could say, and there's no 100% system out there, by the way. With that being said, let's jump on into this. So first things first is, I'm assuming that you're probably the person who's trying to bypass the system, so I'm going to give you that type of method. But one of the first things you need to do on both sides of the fence, because unless you want to tell every last company, every last thing to send your emails over to this new place, which might end up changing a few times, an easy way to do it is go to your Gmail, go to settings, then go to forwarding, and then add a forwarding address and put your new address in there. Assume that you already made one, by the way. If you hadn't, then make another Gmail account. And if you did get banned, don't be stupid. Use the incognito mode or use another browser, but don't be stupid. And also use the incognito for now, and we're going to fix that where you don't have to use that in a bit. And it's going to take a little bit of time to do that. You got to make sure everything's moved over. It's much harder for you guys. So I feel sorry for you, and it might not even work for you at the end of the day. But for everybody else, you're good to go. So you add your forward address, and what this does is it basically, anything that comes in, and you can select delete the message or not. It's up to you. But anything that comes in, it will automatically be forwarded to the new address. The user who sent it won't know, so there's that. And when you send them back something, depending on how exactly you have things set up, it might show as your new email address, or it might not. If you don't have things set up, like if you just got the forwarding address and that's it set up, then it'll show you as the new email address, which is what you want, because you want to tell people, hey, this is my new email address. And it kind of shows from there. Very important to realize that, and that way you can end up just saying forward everything in case if you miss one or two things, unless you want to completely delete the account altogether. So as far as this thing that I'm going to show you, what happens if you got Google Voice? Well, let's do it in 2 steps. If you aren't worried about ban and whatever, easy thing to do is go to your voice.google.com, go to settings. If you don't know what this is, by the way, I actually have a video that's either out or coming out on how to set this stuff up in the first place. It gets into what you can do with it, and it's actually pretty cool. I advise you checking it out. It's very underused, and it's free. So with this, what you do is you go to transfer, pick the email address, and then continue and go from there. It's a simple one-two process. With that, it's immediate. Certain things don't transfer. So if you actually look at this, it says you can only transfer your number. So that means everything else, your voicemail, your call history, your text messages are gone. You cannot transfer the anyone who has a Google Voice number already. It's very important to note that, and to get rid of it, you just press delete, and that's that. What happens if you are banned? You might be saying, alright, well, I just changed the number, and the reason why that won't be good is this will keep the thing around for 3 months, and it'll basically forward everything, calls and texts, into this current number. So that won't work, and after the 3 months, yeah, or you can delete, and that takes 90 days, so that won't work too. The method I'm going to tell you may or may not work, but so what I'll advise you to do is have another Google account. Make sure it's not related to anything else. Transfer everything to that other account. So let's call it account C. So you got account A, which you don't want. It's a burn. Account B is what you want to keep. Account C is whatever. You transfer the stuff from account A to account C, then you transfer that to account B, and maybe it'll work. Who knows? I mean, like, it will transfer, by the way, but it is just burn your new account. So that's very important to note. But unless you want to wait 3 months or 90 days. So yeah. That, or you can just make a new number. And you can't forward to a Google Voice, by the way. So yeah. So now let's get into the thing I'll tell you that's going to take you the longest. It is going to all the basically going to all the sites and all the services and all the stuff and associate them with your new account. It's a grok. The easiest way to keep track of all that stuff, if you haven't already, use a service like LastPass or something, because I mean it has a password generator. It is very secure, and the fact of the matter is I even personally use it, but it's easy because you can see, okay, all these accounts I need to switch over. I've done it personally, and it's surprisingly how many sites and stuff that you go to that does not even bother to tell you that your email has changed. Just putting that out there. But yeah, it's just, or doesn't bother having it where you have to do something, or you can do something if your email does change. Next thing you need to do, in case if you use Chrome, great. This will help you. If you don't, skip ahead. Use the arrow key to skip ahead. But if you do, you might want to write down all the plugins you use. You can right click on a given plugin, select it. It will take you to the actual link, and that way you can get them pretty easily. One thing I want to add to this is the next steps may or may not influence your stuff, so it may or may not make this useful or not. Now, following this, you might want to keep your theme itself I done a video a while back. It's actually helped me figure this one out. What you need to do is go to the following C drive users, your username, AppData, local, Google, yada. I got it down in the description. Congratulations. I'll suggest just copy and pasting that, paste it in there after you got your username. And then what you want to do is go down to preference, wherever that is. Open that in a notepad like so, and what you want to do is do a Control F for a find, and then you do a quotation theme quotation, and what you're looking for is this where it says theme ID and then a real long thing. You're searching for this. So from here, if it goes right, it will take you to the exact thing that matches that ID. And by the way, this is what I'm using on my thing. But you got your theme right there, so you just copy that and paste it into your new email. All these links to stuff to your new email, and that way when you put all this, undo all the stuff from seeing any remnants of your old accounts. Well, there you go. And even if you're not in the ban phase, well, you still need to have some type of backup for this, because there's no guarantee that once you switch accounts on your Chrome that it won't just destabilize the entire thing. So it's best to have all these links anyways. So let's move on to the next portion. So the next thing to do, and this will probably bypass a lot of people, next thing to do is to simply go into your drive, and there's one or two ways you can do this. The first way is, in fact there's three ways you can do this. First way is you can download everything to your computer, or you can have it automatically download everything by using the drive. It's kind of like using the Dropbox stuff. It's actually very similar to that. You can manually download it. That's the second method. Or you can share it with your new account. Doesn't matter which way you pick, but you gotta pick something if you want to keep these files. And by the way, before I forget, if you want to just download everything manually, select the bottom one, scroll all the way to the top, hold down Shift, select that, right click, download, and it downloads it all in a zip folder. And it could take some time, so do that, and I'll see you when it's done. Or if you pick some other method, then great, but it still has to download on your computer or you're gonna lose it. So one of the next things you might want to do is export from your counter and put it into your other one. To do this, it's pretty simple. All I have to do is go to the counter, go to settings, go to the counter tab, and then down here just select export counters. Then on your next one, just do import counter, and if you get multiple counters, you're going to have multiple exports. So keep that one in mind, but it's not a big deal, I guess. But anyways, as far as that goes. Oh, and for example, before I forget, things like repeats and stuff like that, it actually does it. So for example, when I imported this, it automatically there had that. So you don't have to worry about things like that in that nature. So if you had something like, say for example, each year I got it marked for when to switch fans up or down, haircuts and things of this nature, I can just have it where it automatically goes in, and I don't have to worry about is this stuff going to show up. So it's good. Now, as far as the next thing you're going to want to do, is exporting and importing your Google contacts. It doesn't matter which one you pick. If you want to export, you're going to be asked to go to the old contact list, and same thing with export, it's going to ask you for that first. So go there, and then if you're going to export, go to more, go to export, and just make sure you select the right one. If you go to import, then just import and select a file and go from there. It's easy as that. Following this, you're going to want to do something a little bit complicated. If you're banned, then this is something serious that you want to do. If you're not, then you might want to skip this portion. And this is for Chrome. What you want to do is disconnect your Google account and then also clear history settings, and then disconnect that. So you can see why I said get the plugins and all that stuff now, and that way you won't have the problems with themes, plugins, and so on, because now it's gone. What I'll also say is go back to settings and go and just delete the history and stuff like that, just for safe measure. Go into history, make sure there's nothing there. Go to you can delete the cache and stuff like that, but basically you're just trying to make sure there's no trace of your old stuff at all. From there, you'll sign in into your new account. Hopefully you're smart enough to watch this ahead of time, or at least put everything, the extensions and stuff, into the draft folder of your new account. And that way you can just pull it up, click all the links, and you're back in action. Lastly, we need to forward all your current email to the new email. If you're never going to use your old email address again, then what you can do for security reasons, and to forward it anyways, you gotta do it anyways, enable pop all and then delete. If you're never going to use your other one, delete. Otherwise, I'll say keep it that way, just in case you got a backup. And then make sure you press save. On your new system, you need to go to account and import, go down to add pop, then add the email address. So blah@gmail.com. Then from here, make sure that this is unchecked. These bottom three is optional. And if you got a two-step verification, your password for two-step needs to go in here, and leave that as it is. Add account, and they'll ask you something about send as a given person, and since we're burning the old email, we don't want anything to do with that. So you could do it if you want, but as far as that goes, just sit back and wait, and the thing will fetch all the emails, and you'll see it slowly populating your new account. So yeah. But anyways, as far as that goes, that's pretty much as far as you can go. There's a few other things you can import and export, but there's not much more to it. Unfortunately, again, with applications and stuff, there's literally not much you can do that. If you got a developer account, you can request that to be imported into your other accounts, which I would recommend. For myself, I'm not going to do it because I don't really have anything important, and I could just upload everything in there anyways. Just shut down that entire account and just upload anything there anyways. So yeah, But with that in mind, if you do have any questions or anything, then let me know in the comment section. I'll try to get to as quickly as possible. Also, a lot of your questions most likely will be answered already on the Google Help forums and stuff, and I'll highly suggest checking that out. That's where I got a lot of this information from anyways. But if you like this, leave a like, subscribe, share. If you want to help more videos like this come out, go to Patreon, donate there, and that way I can fund more videos like this coming out. But hope you have a great day, and it's been Craig Bennett.